Typewriter ribbons on the Royal KMM and really most of the older Royal desktop models. This would not be true for the portables. Like this one, this would be very different than the one we're about to do. And of course, most portables actually work the same way. They've got these little things in them that make the ribbon switch directions. And you don't use these on the Royal KMM or other desktop models. They use a different way to change directions. So when you change the ribbons, first of all, you have to use the old spools. You can find new spools, but it's easier just to get the old spool, take the old ribbon off, and you'll notice this little contraption here. This is what you need. And they generally don't, I don't know of anyone who makes them now. So if you're missing your old spools, you're going to have to buy some on eBay, used ones, or steal them off an old machine, or whatever you need to do. But you need these spools to put the new ribbon on. Now, when you get the ribbon, you see them on Amazon all over the place. They look about like this, and there are variations of them that you can buy, but it's pretty standard. Any old typewriter ribbon, they're all the same size. Usually when you buy them, you'll see there's a little washer in them like this, and that is what is used to change direction on many typewriters. This little thing right there, and on here you can see this right here. Let me see if I can get in there. This thing right here, that is what those used to change the direction. But on the Royal desktops, this contraption right here is what is used to change direction. So as the ribbon runs out, this thing drops down and it hits this, and that makes it change direction. So the first thing is to get your old spools. Don't ever throw away Royal spools. You need these. You get the old spool, take the old ribbon out, and then you want to load the new ribbon onto that. But if you have these, you got to cut that off. It's on the ends here. But I'm not going to cut this because I'm not going to use this one. Instead, I'm going to use another one that doesn't have those. These are actually made for adding machines. I would rather use this than a full ribbon because it tends to get tangled up less. So I'm going to see if I can. So the thing is, you need to know which direction to go in. You're gonna have the ribbon come out here and come over here, and you need to know whether or not it's going to go in this direction or in this direction. And to do that, you just move the carriage back and forth. You can see the direction that's going in. So now that we know that, you can have the ribbon go around like this. Now when you put it on, the red is always on the bottom. So I'm gonna take the end of this and just make a clean cut here. And I'm gonna get my old ribbon. You can see let me see if I can, you can see a little point here, and here. I don't know how well the camera's getting this. You can see little points there. Basically, you're going to put your ribbon through. Sometimes it's easier to use a spring hook. Again, always when you're working with it, keep the red on the bottom, because the red always goes on the bottom on these typewriters. And you just push it through there like that. And then you can get rid of your spring hook. Now, usually what I do is kind of double it up and push it back through. And as we saw, the wheel was turning this way. So I'm going to take this and pull it against that sharp piece, that little point, and I'm going to pull it until I feel it sink into the ribbon itself. We want it to puncture the ribbon. So if I hold this down and just pull real hard, there, I just felt it sink in. Now, as it turns, it will go like this, and it's caught. So I can put this in here. I could put this in like this with the ribbon down. And if you're unsure yourself, go ahead and test it one more time. And once you're happy with that, you can just start, you take the other side off. In order to get the ribbon wound around it, just put those plastic spools at it, whatever it came with, put them in there. And then start winding. You can, if it's not winding, change the direction of the ribbon. Now it winds. If your spools are something like this, they might get caught and they might not spin freely. It's not a big deal. Just put it down in there and do it. Just make sure it doesn't get tangled. But I like trying to figure out a way to set it up on here so that it's smoother this way. And you just wind it up. Maybe every now and then give it a little tug to make sure it's tight. There we go. That's the end of this. Break that off. Again, I like a clean cut, so I cut the end off. Now, again, make sure you're going the right direction. You can see this one would turn this way. The other one is going to turn this way. If you start turning, if you start moving the carriage and the wrong one is turning, then you can switch the directions to see which way the other one's turning. So, I mean, it's going to be the opposite of this one, but just to make sure as you're putting it together, because what really stinks is getting it all put together and then realizing that your ribbon's facing the wrong direction. And pull it until you feel it puncture. But here's the thing, I did it the wrong way. See, that's exactly why you gotta watch what you're doing. This is supposed to be on the bottom, and I had it on the top. This is supposed to be on the bottom, and so I put the ribbon in incorrectly. And see, when I pulled real hard, I punctured the hole, and I want to get a fresh piece because this already has a hole in it, and if it, you know, I like to have a fresh piece at the end so that it's more likely to hold and less likely to come loose. Push it through there. Pull it until I hear it, until it catches. See, that time it caught, but it didn't stay. There, now I'm going to wind it up a little bit. And now I'm going to, if you put this down so that it's red, this comes up higher. And we want to get this as high as we can in order to thread it. See? Now I can hold it while threading the ribbon. Here I've got it upside down. Again, we're keeping the red on the bottom. And you can kind of see, let me get in there real tight so you can see exactly what I'm doing. If I hold this up, if I kind of pull it tight against there, you can see how it kind of comes down inside instead of You're pulling it down until it gets past that top part, and then now you got it like that. Make sure you didn't accidentally flip it. And that is how you load a new ribbon on Royal various desktop models, mostly the KMM, KHM, HHE, and even the newer, like the newer ones like the Empress, which I've done a video on recently. And you get them at Amazon, pretty much anywhere you can get these ribbons. And again, if you get the kind with the, you can get all black too. It doesn't have to be part red. But if you get the kind with the little washer on it, you want to cut that off.